Okay, sounds good. Hi, welcome to Childbirth with Grace.tv. I'm Sandy, and we would like to wish you a very happy new year. We're back, and Ilia is starting a whole new series this month called Will My Body Ever Be the Same? And I'm going to invite you to come on over to childbirthwithgrace.tv and join us, add comments in the comment section, engage. We're going to be a little more interactive moving forward with the shows. So you can ask your questions, share your comments, and quite possibly, if you want to even be on air from time to time when Elia takes questions, come on live and we'll share the link for you. The first thing I'd like to uh, tell you about a little bit of the housekeeping with the comment section, and that is to make sure that your little button or your check mark is unchecked when you're before you start typing in the field where the comments are, because those refresh every 90 seconds, and that when that refreshes, you lose everything you're typing. So we'd love to have you come on over to childbirthwithgrace.tv and join in with us. And Ilia, I'm going to hand it over to you, but I'm looking at our feed and I want to just double check. So give me a second. Oh, look at you. There you go.
Happy New
Oh.
Year, everyone. I decided to play with the since we're talking about I just thought of this. Since we're going to be talking about body image, I just thought, wow, what a great time to play with some of the Google effects.
Yeah.
And Happy New Year. So, with that being said,
Hang on. Hang on for a second, because for some reason this is not recording or not playing correctly.
oh,
All
nice.
right. Yeah. Hang on. Let me try that again. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, it's not taking the whole thing, I don't think. All right, maybe it did. One sec. Oops. One moment, please. Okay. We are live.
Okay.
All righty. And it looks like everything recorded, Elia. It just wasn't showing up on my dashboard. So
Oh, okay, great. So we can have some fun.
we can have some fun
But
today.
it's recording. Okay.
Yay.
Well, happy new year to everyone out there and welcome to Childbirth with Grace. And as you can see, I am all done up via the Google effects. So I'm going to undo that so we can concentrate. Oop, there's my crown. Hello. Uh, this year, and again, I'm Ilia Blandina. You've reached Childbirth with Grace.tv, and this year we're gonna do themes every month. And for January, it's going to be all about body image, and we're gonna hit different points. And I invite anyone to come on in and uh, join the conversation, and we'll be checking the questions that you submit and answering them, or we'll just keep talking. Um, and as always, my intention is to awaken your life power so that you can have the best possible birth journey that you are wanting to have for your family and pregnancy. So, so today, yeah. will my body ever be the same? So I thought today would be a really nice day to just have an open conversation with Sandy. Hey, Sandy, you're going to join me, yeah?
I'm right here.
You're right here. I
Yeah,
just see, oh, there you are.
yeah, yeah. And that's the other thing. There's about a 25-second delay for
Okay.
everyone, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, I'm here.
No problem. So, as far as body image in pregnancy, I thought it'd be interesting. We could compare stories about how what we thought, what were our major concerns, because we're both moms. We both had kids. I had four kids, and Sandy, you had
Two.
two, but still, the more than even one is enough. So, I know that with my first child, my as my body was changing, and of course, I was younger. Um, it didn't change as drastically as with the second and third and fourth. I think the one subsequently, it seemed like you show a lot faster, um or maybe you didn't weren't able to get rid of the weight that you gained with your first one, and then you got pregnant again and that kind of stuff. So, but with the first baby, I was pretty fit, and I did make it a point to get as fit as possible before getting pregnant. So I was probably the smallest I've ever been, even in from high school. And with each pregnancy, maybe I gained about 30, 35 pounds. How was your pregnancies, Sandy?
Yeah, the first one, well, both of them I gained about 35 pounds. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and
Yeah, so that's pretty much the
mhm.
average. So, and that's really what you want to gear yourself for, in general anyway. So if one of the things you need to start just paying attention to, and the idea behind this talk is to sort of hit some points and then say, okay, but don't go crazy about it. uh, but certainly if you do see yourself gaining too much weight, uh, and your average weight to begin with, then those are things that your practitioner will pick up on, or maybe you can actually even um, talk about it with them if they don't pick up on it. Because it's always, prenatal care is always a team effort. So, um, whatever concerns that come up, just make sure that you write it down in between visits. And then when you come to the visit, have your little list of what's been bothering you for the last since the last time you were there. And and when you look in the mirror, every what I had a sense of with all my pregnancies is, particularly after 20 weeks, it seemed like every week was a huge difference in my physiology and what I looked like, and certainly in the last 2 months, I think, I don't know if this happened to you, Sandy, but I think I would go to sleep one size and wake up another. Right?
Yes, yeah, oh
So
yeah,
that could sort of like, like the picture I picked, this woman looking in the mirror and she's as pregnant as can be. um to me, that reminded me of me, and thinking, holy mackerel, will I ever be the same again? Will my body ever be the same again? And the one of the things I invite you to do, which would be really cool to do, because what happens is, certainly there's a few things that happen with your mind when you see yourself in the mirror. And one of the things is, well, you forget who you really are, which is a beautiful spirit in this meat suit body. So you end up just chipping away at the physical part. And with tapping, that's certainly something that it can help you sort of get that recalibrated and realize that there's more to you than this body that keeps morphing. So that's one thing. But when you look in the mirror, let me see if I remember where I was going with something with this. But when you look in the mirror and you see how keep changing, and then you know, you you don't realize that this change is actually happening over a really long period, 9 months. And so in your mind, you have this expectation that the minute you have the baby, poof, you're gonna just go right back to your previous non-pregnant self. And now I've seen that happen for some women, that they actually go right back. It's like amazing, but usually that's when it's your first baby, and uh, you probably and they were athletes, you know, before being pregnant, and during pregnancy they kept exercising all the way to that. So it wasn't your average person, is what I'm trying to get at. Because they started off with a really, 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 really strong core and abdominal muscles. And because they're really, really strong, even though the uterus and kept growing, and they had a normal sized baby. And that was actually me with my first one, in that my stomach went back pretty quickly because I was exercising all the way to the end. But but certainly not with my second one and third and fourth. And I was going to say fifth, but oops, nope, there's not five. So, so, and there's something happens in your brain, you know, you sort of have this amnesia. You have this remembrance of what your body should look like. Then you keep looking in the mirror and it keeps changing, and it's over what seems like a really short period of time, because in reality 9 months is a really short period of time, but it is 9 months. So once you have the baby, you have to realize it's going to take another year from the time you have the baby. And correct me if I'm wrong, that's what I felt.
Mhm.
I don't know how your experience was. It was when the babies were having their first birthday that I finally felt normal.
Yeah.
What was your experience, Sandy?
Mine's really similar to yours. My first pregnancy, I didn't exercise, but I was very active. And
Mm-hmm.
so, in the sense of the definition of exercise, it wasn't that I was at the gym or anything, but I was very, very active. I ate very well, healthy, and except for my cravings. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember walking in because my sister had her baby, her first one, 6 months prior to me. And I forget how that was. No, it was 6 months after she had her twins. And I went in to see her, and she was like, "Oh my God, I just had the twins, and look at me. I look like I'm still 6 months pregnant." She was really down on herself. I do remember that, and I really felt bad, but my body bounced right back. But the second one, um, not so much. I'd say I probably still have that with me. But no, I did eventually lose that, but it was still it. Yeah, I noticed it was like I wasn't zipping up the jeans quite as quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Definitely the genes will is telling.
yeah. But something that I found and feel anyway, Elia, is that what's so important is that if you're even considering getting pregnant, get healthy, take the right supplements you need, just prepare your body for carrying that baby and nurturing that baby while you're carrying it. So it's a little bit easier on you, I think.
Absolutely. The right nutrition, and we're going to be covering aspects of that this month, but and cravings. I think maybe we'll do cravings next week. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Um, but certainly, if you're not pregnant yet and you're planning on it, the best thing you could do for yourself is to try to get in as best shape as possible, because in the long run, it's going to be more beneficial to your body and its ability to actually recover
Hmm.
after you have the baby. But sometimes you just get pregnant and you're not in shape, and that's okay. So you could still start doing things where you uh, just walking, um, for 20 minutes every day, or swimming if you have access to a pool. So it doesn't have to be anything really crazy. It could be even stretching, or uh, there's actually classes out that are it's prenatal yoga classes where it incorporates stretching and balancing, small balancing for particularly for pregnancy. I know all that wasn't available when I was pregnant. I just with my first baby, I just continued on with all my normal exercise patterns, which actually that's to mention this. If you are on a regular exercise routine and you don't have any contraindications to continuing exercise, so you have to check with your practitioner. uh, you can continue doing what you've been doing as long as you stay consistent with it, because your physiology does change every week. And you'll find that if you miss a week of exercising, you will actually feel as if you hadn't exercised in months. It's like exponential as far as the impact on your body. Um, but with that being said, as long as it's not a contact sport, I know I had a friend who was a runner, and she was, she was a mail carrier. That was what she did for work. So, and she always ran around the block, and she ran all the way up until her due date, because she could, and she was used to doing it. That was just, what she did for exercise. Of course, she didn't run as much once it was closer. Me, I always did like dancing, or weights and stuff like that. So I just did a maintenance program. And then I just continued my, at the time, I was doing the jazzercise classes. I don't know if anyone
Hmm.
remember those, but I had the really cool experience that my instructor was actually pregnant as well. And she continued teaching also. I think we had similar due dates. So we were both, she was up there pregnant and teaching, and I was one of her students, and it was a fun time was had by all. So um and back then, of course, I was younger, and I would do all kinds of fun tricks with my baby, and like squeeze in my belly, and almost flatten it out. And I, even though I was like full term, I could like do that. Didn't could not do that with the other babies. But hey, he didn't falter. He was born uh 8 pounds, so it's not like I still ate well, and didn't show as much, but he was still a nice sized baby. And
Hmm.
everyone was surprised, because they were like, my midwives were like, oh, I think he's gonna be maybe 7 pounds maximum. And I'm like, okay, whatever. 8 pounds, 21 and a half inches. How was your babies?
My daughter was 8 pounds, 15 ounces, and my son was 9 pounds, 13 ounces.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, big babies, and they were long. And even the doctor, he told me on my first one, he says, oh, probably no more than 7.5 pounds, and then she came out 8 13. I mean, they literally it came out like they were 3 months old already.
Yeah, the
But
newborn clothes
yeah,
didn't
they
last
were
long.
healthy. Yeah, no, uh, the one outfit I got for my son, he wore home from the hospital and never put it back on because it was really too tight. So, but yeah, it's good, healthy babies, and but my kids were born in the mid '70s, so um, we were still eating, I will say, pretty healthy, normal healthy food. It wasn't until after I had my kids that a lot of the issues with the food surfaced, fast foods and GMOs and all that. So
Hmm.
I think the moms today have a lot to contend with in that regard, because they're busy. I mean, not that we weren't busy, but in my schedule, I already knew how to prepare things that was what we call from scratch today,
Yeah, right.
and yeah, and the moms today are so busy that it's just grab and go. And so that's something that they have to contend with, that wasn't that prominent for me. Um, and so I feel that I didn't put a lot of thought into prenatal supplements or care. I mean, I went to the doctor, I did do that, but um, there just seems to be a lot more involved in, you gotta watch this, you gotta watch that, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. And me,
Well,
I
we
just,
found out more information with,
that too. Oh, definitely, yeah. And back to the
you know,
exercise, my daughter's friend just had a baby in May, and she is an avid CrossFit trainer. And she did that up to, I think, her 8th month, just the start of her 8th month.
what, CrossFit?
Yeah, and she did
Whoa.
that, though she did that with, you know, 100% approval from her doctor.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
That
And of
wasn't
course,
just, yeah.
she wasn't gonna do it to the point of craziness either.
No, no, no. She's one that made well, they planned to get pregnant, and so she made sure that she was at a certain weight, had a certain body fat. I mean, she was really strict with herself and supplements and just making sure she was really healthy. And then it was like, okay, I'm where my goal. I've reached my goal now. We'll we'll try and have a baby. They, got pregnant, and she has a really healthy little boy. And she is actually, she just started back, not I think that just before the holidays, with the CrossFit, working up to it. So,
Okay,
and
great.
when you exercise like that before, or do that, taking the walks, whatever you're comfortable with, I think it's easier for you to get back into that when you feel ready to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, will my body ever be the same? Well, the answer to that question in reality, it's yes and no.
Hmm.
Because one, first of all, you have to give yourself a break. Remember, you just went through a complete physical transformation, and then now you have to sort of revert back the same way, and it actually does take more time to revert back than it does to get there, because you're not, now you have a baby to take care of, so it's not like, especially when it's your first time, you really feel the difference of that. uh, you don't have the time that you had when you were babysitting your own baby inside. You were able to rest and do whatever you wanted. Now you have to adapt to taking care of the baby and yourself at the same time. So allow yourself time. So the answer to the question, will my body ever be the same? Well, the yes part is, yeah, you will get to a point where you feel like, okay, I'm completely feel healed. I have my energy back, I can keep up, and that kind of thing. But then, no, because life goes on. So, and the image in the mirror keeps changing, even if, you know, sometimes you change it on purpose. You change your hair color, yay, or whatever, or you let go of changing your hair color. So there's different things that happen with that mirror. And one of the things that I've learned, especially now that I'm at a point in my life where I'm reflecting back, and I didn't mean that to be a pun, but certainly that's how my CD that I created, the meditation CD about overcoming the mirror, um, it was just looking at what is it about the mirror that uh, is so important. And what was interesting is in my own journey is I found out that uh, you first look at the mirror when you're first introduced to it, and you'll see it with your own baby when you first introduce your own baby to the mirror. If they're under 18 months old, they'll suddenly be like, what is that? And they'll go from be laughing and giggling to you have them go in the mirror and they're like, what? And it's because haven't they're just a free spirit when they come. And when you come into this earthly plane, you're a free spirit. So when you first see yourself in the mirror, you're like, what is that? And you don't even connect that that's you, because in reality, that actually is the secret, that it isn't you. It's just a reflection of where you're at right now. And with pregnancy, you really get that in a really um, compact way, because you have 9 months and you have this major transformation and body changes in 9 months, and that it's sort of like a prequel to how eventually you'll look back and look in the mirror and go, oh, I've changed since when I was a little kid. I think they've said you definitely change, your cells change every day, so like you have a new body every day cellular wise all the way down to the cells. But there's actually a complete energetic change, I think every 8 years or so, something like that. Is
Yeah,
it
I read 7, but
seven
yeah.
to 8 years? There's a major shift in how your body's functioning and working. And of course, and all that has a lot to do with how you take care of it, because this is a vessel. It's really just a biomechanical container for our soul, for our free spirit that lives here. And having been a nurse for many, many years, I've certainly had the opportunity. Now I'm going to the other side of the spectrum, is to see the souls leave bodies. And it's you really get a sense of, wow, it really was a container. Because for me, having been there, and if you talk to other nurses, I know you're friends with Peggy, who's a nurse, and certainly we've all had that experience. And if you've lost family or wherever, you could there's you definitely there is this separation that happens. So, but coming back to the happy end of the spectrum of um, being pregnant and your body changing, what I'm trying to get at is you got to give yourself a break. And if you find that you are looking in the mirror and becoming too critical, then that's a really good time to pick up that journal and write out what is it that is bothering you that you're seeing, and then tap on those issues, the feelings that you have about what you're seeing, and so that that way you could really just bring down all the negative vibes that you're getting when you look at the mirror. And if you can't do that on your own, then I invite you to find a practitioner, a tapping practitioner. It could be me. It could be whoever you find who is um, you feel connected to help you out with anything that comes up that you feel that you can't tap on yourself, or if you're doing it on your own, you feel like you're not uh, getting past a certain point, because sometimes you do need someone who's an independent observer of what you're saying, and you need to be heard as well. It's always nice to have someone that will hear you, and a good practitioner will listen to you and reflect back what you're saying, and then help you tap on uh, the areas that are the most triggering for you. And sometimes they're connected to other things that may have happened to you in the past. So certainly, uh, that's always a good thing to have someone else to tap with when you are doing really deep work. So that way, you have someone that can guide you to what you need help with, or what you feel like you need help with, because it really is all up to you to be just aware of that internal monologue. If you've been watching me last year in 2015, when we started the class, we did a whole series on um, the warrior goddess within, labor pain management. And if you missed it, it still exists, but you just need to join in and become a member. There's a membership site, and you can get all the back issues of any of the programs, the live classes that I've had. You can get all of them and see them at your leisure. So with that being said, I think will your body ever be the same? Yes and no. That's the answer to that question. And and may actually mainly yes, because eventually you can get back to exercising, and but life does go on, and our reflection will always keep changing even past our um, birth years. So uh, just be easy on yourself and have fun with your pregnancy. Oh, and this is what I wanted to say. um, uh, with my fourth pregnancy, it was really cool. I was given a gift of having doing a belly cast, and so I actually captured in 3D what I looked like, and I'm not going to get it because it's in another room. But the point is, maybe I'll take a picture and post it on the page there. But you can put it on and basically say, "Oh, I have come a long way." So I completely invite you to, before you have your baby, at least do one belly cast. And I'll put up the ingredients of what goes into doing a belly cast. And and have that. You could hang it up on the wall. You could do all kinds of things with it. But whenever you start thinking, "Oh, I'm not in shape anymore," or it's taking too long to get into shape or to get back to where I was, you get that belly cast, you put it on, and you go, "Oh yeah, no, I'm fine." I need to do a little photo shoot with my belly cast. I think maybe so. I went crazy with doing belly casts with my last baby, because I knew it was a gift, and then once I knew how to do it, I just went crazy doing it. So I need to uh, probably finish painting it and decorating it, and then because yeah, it actually becomes a canvas, so you could do all kinds of really cool things with that. So um, with that being said, I guess it's time to just have a little reflection. I think I don't know if let's see what happens if we're doing a meditation or reflection. But we have a beautiful photo, and let me just cue in the music here. Yay!
One second.
So, what I'd like for you to do is just really relax in your chair and take a couple of deep breaths in and out. And as you do that, just notice any tension in your body. And with each breath, just notice that tension as you breathe in and just release it as you breathe out. And now, with your hand over your heart and tapping on the back of your hand, just softly gaze at the photo and just become aware of your own body and how it might look in the mirror, and either all the changes you've already gone through or all the changes that you will go through. And just get a sense of how miraculous it is to be pregnant and have a little baby that starts off the size of the end of a period in a sentence. And through all the weeks, keeps growing and first divides up into all the different cells that make up all the different parts of their body and all the different organs. And then by 12 weeks, they look like a little tiny baby. And then from there on, they keep changing. And their organs start to mature, start to function. Then, somewhere around 5 months is when you actually feel the first kick. And just know that your body is created so that it can expand. And your uterus is created to expand and to grow along with your baby. And all the changes that you see in the mirror is all a wonderful reflection of what's happening in the inside secret world of your baby. And slowly, as your baby gets older and older, then not only will you be able to feel the baby move, but others will be able to feel the baby move. And sometimes you could actually see the baby's feet push out from your belly. Maybe you have the experience of having put something on your belly and the baby kicks it off. Just be at peace that as you see your reflection change, it's all a wonderful sign that everything is going well with your pregnancy. And soon you will have a beautiful baby in your arms. You will have helped create wonderful new life for our beautiful planet, and to help so many people. Let that feeling of new life and the peace of knowing that your body will return back to its non pregnant state safely and wonderfully with time. Let that beautiful peace of a new life enter your heart, and know that all the changes that you see are just temporary. And when you're ready, just breathe out that beautiful piece of new life that's coming into your life, out into the universe. Setting the intention that this year will be such a wonderful year for you as you expand your family. a count of three, you can just become more aware of your surroundings. One, two, and three. Well, that was a wonderful start of the new year, 2016. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Um, uh, Make sure you put us on your calendar every Wednesday at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time, childbirthwithgrace.tv. And don't worry about any missed classes. There's Awaken Your Life Power membership. So check that out in the link below in the theater. And please tell your friends about this these great classes. I really enjoy putting it on for you. And I will be seeing you next week. So, with that being said, always remember you have a wonderful celestial family out there, always guiding you and always being by your side as you awaken your life power to the best possible birth ever. So, I'll see you next week.